I've made a little container here to where I'm going to empty the oil out so that I can put fresh oil in it, so I can get this put up for storage. And we're going to take a look and see if there's any metal particulates in the oil after 4.5 hours of running at 50% load. So let me get this generator hauled up here on my little worktop here, and we're going to pour the oil out of this and get it in this bucket, hopefully without making a mess. All right, guys, I thought it'd just be interesting. It's about 95 degrees outside today. This just got finished running for over 4.5 hours, and I was just wanting to do some thermal measuring just to see how hot we're getting. So right up there at the very top, hopefully you can see the temperature. It's about 250 degrees up toward the top of this. This is the back of the generator. Let's open this top little panel. About the same, 250 degrees. You can see that they've got it insulated in there too. And now for the oil area. About 224, 225. I was just curious about how hot this thing runs, you know, whenever it's at 50% load and running on a 95 degree day. I'd say that's not too bad. So let's go ahead and get the oil dumped out of this. Just by looking at it right now, it actually is looking pretty good. And I don't know how fast it's going to seep down through the paper towel. I'm going to let it kind of soak down through the paper towel / AKA filter. Then we'll finish. Okay, that's pretty much all of it. And we're just going to let it drain. I like this little ramp for pouring the oil out. This is a small enough generator. You just tilt it on its side. Oil pours right out. Very little actually got into this little area right here. I just put paper towel there just to help. I'm going to get the oil dumped back into here, letting this drain fully, and then we're going to take a look at it. All right, I just got the oil added. So now this little generator is ready to go. And now let's take a look at our filter. I'm not really seeing anything. Let me get another paper towel put on the floor. I see a little speck right there. Now there's some little specks in there, which would be expected after a break-in run of over 4.5 hours. To me, that's a very acceptable amount of break-in material. I don't know if you guys are able to really pick anything out or not on the camera. I see a little shiny deal there. I see some little teeny tiny metallic pieces in there. I would think that would be a very acceptable amount to anybody. There's the oil itself. That's about what that oil looked like whenever I poured it out of the jug. Look what it's done to that container. Shrinky dink. You guys remember those? Anyway, we're done. Now, they've got another generator that instead of the GX400BN, it's the GD400BN, I believe. And it's a very popular generator. It's got this little spider right there. It's all exact same specs, 4,000 watt dual fuel generator. Does not have the gauge here. And instead of an RV plug like this one, it's got the twist lock plug. They're about the same price. That other one is actually a little bit smaller than this one, physical size, but it does have the same specs. So I'll put links to both of them. But man, I tell you what, so far I'm impressed with this generator. I don't see anything about it that I would consider something that would be something to worry too much about. Anyway, okay guys, this is the day after I put my generator up, after I broke it in for a little over 4.5 hours at half load. And I remembered that I told you guys that I would max this out and see if it would actually hold the 2,800 watts that it's rated at on propane. So I just got back from having my tank filled, and right here you can see that on propane it's rated at 2,800 watts running capacity, 3,600 watts peak. Gasoline, it's 4,000 watts and 3,200 watts respectively. So let me get the hose hooked up, but the first thing I wanted to do was show you what a full propane tank should weigh. And we're looking at about 36.8 pounds, so right about 37 pounds. So let me get the hose hooked up. I'm going to start it up. We're going to see, I'm going to start it up the way the manual tells you to this time. I'm going to bleed the hose like I did yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and put it to choke, and we're going to see if it starts easier than what it started yesterday when I just put it to run. I think I pulled it 5 or 6 times, maybe 7. I'd have to go back through the video and look, and we'll see if it starts any quicker. All right, so I'm going to go to choke. I did bleed it. Yeah, I'd say it does start easier whenever you go to choke, the way the manual says. All right, so my plan, so each one of these meters are rated at 1,800 watts. I'm going to have to plug these in. This is a short cord, so I'm going to plug them in, and we're just going to have to pull this up. They're going to be upside down, but we'll make do. Make sure both these are on watts. Let me grab my heater and my heat gun. All right, guys. So this is the plan. I went ahead and plugged this in because I don't know if everything that I've got here is going to be enough to max this out without plugging more stuff in. So I've got a 1,500 watt heater. We're going to plug it in. I know that's going to pull 1,500 watts, and I'm not sure this heat gun here is a 525 watt. This is a variable heat gun, but I don't know how much it's going to pull. So this is going to allow me to plug multiple items in, and we'll be able to watch and see how many watts that is. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to plug our 1,500 watt heater into the white watt meter, and then I'll start plugging this in. Now, they recommend whenever you're running a heavy load on the generator to take it off of eco mode. So I'm going to go ahead and turn eco mode off. It's going to ramp up, and that's going to allow it to carry the heaviest load. Take that as hot as it'll go. This off, we'll talk about it. Actually, I don't even know if I had the propane tank turned all the way up. So I should have actually disconnected all the load before I killed it, but I mean, you saw that it was holding 2900 before I turned this one on. It held 2900 watts with no problem. Anyway, yeah, it's right there. 2800 watts, and it was holding 2800, which, by the way, is not recommended. If you're going to run 2800 watts continuously, you actually need a little bit bigger generator than this. So they say about 80% load continuously, whatever rating it is. So for instance, if you had a 10,000 watt generator and you was going to run a load on it continuously, you wouldn't want to go, and if it was rated for 10,000 watts continuous, not peak or max, but continuous load, then you'd want to, and you had a 10,000 watt, you'd only want to run 8,000 watts max continuously. That's what they recommend. Anyway, we're pretty much done here. I just wanted to show you how much this would load. We was actually not able to max this out to where it would disconnect the generator. It was this kilowatt, because I've got two different heat guns plugged into it, which ends up pulling more than 1800 watts, which is what these are rated at. Anyway, I think it proved itself. Nice little generator, compact. The other generator I'm going to link to has the same exact specs, but it doesn't have the gauge, and the gas tank is not as big. So if all you're going to do is run propane, that other generator may be a better option for you, because it's actually smaller and lighter with the same specs. So if you don't need this gauge, I personally like the gauge, and I wanted the option of having a little bit bigger gas tank. I think the gas tank on this is a little over 2 gallons. The one on the other one is 1.1 gallon. So anyway, they make a little pump too that you can screw down right here, and you run a hose into another gas tank, and it will, whenever the level gets down, it'll automatically start pumping fuel into this tank. It's a pretty cool little option. I'll actually put a link to that too, because that's a nice little feature to have. Anyway, we're done. This video is way too long. You guys take care. We'll see you.